I'm Frank DeAngelis, former principal at Columbine High School. On April 20th, I was sitting in my office, and usually during that time period, right around 11:15, I'm down in the cafeteria, because I loved being with the kids. But I was in my office, and my secretary comes running towards the door, and I remember it so vividly because my door was shut and there was a little window, and she face planted in there, and I could tell something was wrong. And she opened the door, and the words that rang out is, "There's been a report of gunfire." So when I'm hearing gunfire, bombs exploding, this is not resonating with me until I ran out of my office, and then my worst nightmare became a reality because about 75 yards away, I saw a gunman coming towards me. And I went through something that I learned later was fight, flight, and freeze. And everything just seemed to slow down, and I was thinking out loud is, what was it going to feel like to have a bullet pierce my body? And I remember the shots ringing out and glass breaking behind me, and I can recount about 7 shots being fired that were sailing beside me and over my head. I pull on the gymnasium door, and we're in this little alcove. We're trapped. Gunman's getting closer. The sound of the shots are getting louder. We're pulled. The girls are in a state of panic. I reached in my pocket, had a set of 35 keys, reached in my pocket. The first key I pull out, I stick it in the door, and open it on the first try. And divine intervention, someone was looking after us for whatever reason, and I tried that on numerous occasions, and I've had people say, "Frank, you don't understand, when you're under that stretch situation, your fine motory skills are diminished." And fortunately, I was able to find that key, and it was unfortunate, 12 of my students and Mr. Sanders lost his life, but on that particular day, with me being able to find that key on the first try, it probably saved our lives. The event changed me immensely. Each morning when I wake up, I recite the names of the beloved 13, my 12 students, and Dave Sanders. And everything that I do throughout my life now, I think about them. And I can remember distinctly telling the students that people will tell you that time will heal all wounds, but I said the scars that we experienced yesterday will last for a lifetime. And it's not that we cannot move forward, but to say that we're going to forget what we experienced that day, it's very difficult. And unfortunately, what happens is there's events that happen in all of our lives that trigger those emotions from that day. For me, anytime there's another school shooting, my phone starts exploding with, "You're in my thoughts and prayers. If you need anything," I know immediately there was another school shooting.
Even if you haven't heard about it?
No. It was last year. I was getting off a plane. I had just did a presentation in New Jersey and turned my phone back on. When I got here on February 14th, my phone, thoughts and prayers, thinking of you, what do you need? And then all of a sudden the media starts calling, "Frank, what do you think?" And I looked on the web and I saw what happened. And immediately, Parkland took me back to Columbine because of the images, with the kids running out with their hands on their head, what I called the Columbine March, and it took me back. But what ends up happening is I have these skills now. Something that I learned from my counselor is something known as touchstones, and I have 2 medals around my neck that as soon as this started happening, my heart started racing. I just grabbed them saying, "This is not April 20th, 1999, this is February 14th, 2018.